welcome to another episode of You Don't Know Jack with Lydia and Matt. How's it going, Matt?
Lydia, it's great. It's a Sunday morning. I'm glad to be here on podcast-free America, where we haven't been censored yet.
Well, we can't because we're not governed by the FCC.
Well, just
not yet.
Not yet. They're looking into that, though, powerfully. They're going to look into that. So, no, happy to be here. Season 6, episode 2.
Yes. So far, so good.
Yeah.
It's a crisp morning.
It is. Got out.
It's also humid. It's a little weird.
You got out, got some exercise,
Yeah.
got the old blood flowing a little bit. Yeah.
Wearing the Matt Gilmore favorite outfit.
Yeah, shorts and a sweatshirt. Yeah, right on.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was a good day.
Good.
Got out there, gotten after it.
Couple cups of coffee.
Couple cups of coffee in, 3 or 4, and just something to take the edge
just
off.
Cruising through the day.
Just cruising through to that pot and a half, quota.
All right, so you mentioned it, so we're going to touch on it. First Amendment. So, listen, the First Amendment has always been there. It's always been in the back pocket, and people don't appreciate it for what it is half the time because it's sitting there protecting your religious freedoms, your right to free speech,
right to assemble, right to petition your government,
grievances, anything like that, and free press,
right? Correct.
Which
the Fourth Estate,
correct.
So, I want to say something about the First Amendment before we get to the topic.
Sure.
So, listen, I cannot, Matt Gilmore, private citizen, I cannot infringe on your First Amendment rights. It's not a possibility.
Right.
Okay? So when people talk about the First Amendment, blah, 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 it's the government. This is about the government's ability to chill speech or to limit speech or to impede free speech. So, what we're going to talk about is like, hey, I can, as a private person, and folks tuning in here, you have the right to listen to us or not listen to us.
Correct.
The government cannot come in and sanction podcasts and say, we're not going to allow podcasts. When you do that, there's a place, it's called China. Okay. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But so it's when the government, so if you are trying to talk somewhere and I'm just saying, shut up. Oh, you're violating my free speech. No, I'm not, because I am not the G.
Right.
Okay. I'm a G.
You are a G.
But I'm an OG.
You're a little G.
Yeah. But
G.
I'm not the government. So
right.
I always think the misinformed, because somehow being informed is a bad thing in this country now.
Yeah,
education is shunned.
Right. Let me tell you something. That has been the biggest mind shift, is that, it's like, wait a minute. I was told my whole life that
get an education.
And now that you look down on me because I have an education.
Well, that's because that's where you were indoctrinated.
Oh, because I have free thought there.
Yeah, no, you weren't taught. You were taught to, and you were indoctrinated. But so I always want to get that straight. And so when people their favorite doctor is Dr. Google and their favorite lawyer is Google Esquire. Well, look, only the government, but. What we're going to talk about. And so then they say, oh, it wasn't the government. It wasn't the government. It wasn't the government. It was, Sinclair Broadcasting or another company that went to do this.
Yeah, well, Sinclair Broadcasting wants something from the government.
But when it's called, actually under the law, it's called jawboning. So when the government says, we're going to look at this, blah, blah, and it's this backdoor way to try to, where the government is, hey, you have something being considered by the government. Boy, we don't really like that guy, and we're going to look at anybody who broadcasts that guy.
Yeah.
It's jawboning. It's what the government is doing. So, tell the rest of the story. And by the way, I want to say this about what's got this all riled up, and I am riled up about this, which I think we all should be riled up about this. So, a lot of this came from comments made by, we're going to get into it, by Jimmy Kimmel about Charlie Kirk's assassin. Okay.
No, actually, it wasn't.
Well, it was about the people, the MAGA folks trying to find a way to pin it on the left.
No.
Well, I thought, but that, be that as it may.
Okay.
Whether Charlie Kirk is a pundit is what he was, a talking head is what he was.
Yes.
If he's a martyr to the right or whatever the case they consider him. By the way, there are reams and gobs of video where Charlie Kirk is espousing the First Amendment and saying, like, we get to say whatever in the hell we want to say. And like, he's talking about, in his mind, the left trying to stop what the right wants to say. Even Ted Cruz is like, listen, we got to be really careful about attacking speech.
I mean, you have Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, and Ted Cruz coming out on behalf of free speech and saying, if you go after this, this will be the biggest regret of your, this is not worth it. Like, that you can't do this, right?
Because there's going to come a time when chickens will come home to roost.
Exactly. All right, so
tell the rest of the story.
I will tell the rest of the story.
I'm just wound up about it.
It's okay. So what happened was Jimmy Kimmel came on and he basically said, they were talking about Charlie Kirk and, he wanted, and somebody from the press corps, not Jimmy Kimmel, they cut to a clip and they asked 47, how are you dealing with the loss of your very good friend, Charlie Kirk?
Right.
And he did not respond to that question. He said, oh, we're building this great ballroom. Have you checked out this ballroom we're building? That's how he chose to answer the question. And they cut back to Kimmel, and Kimmel was like, so you can't even, like, that is the way. Kimmel said nothing.
Right.
He was basically just showing a clip of, I mean, he didn't set anything up. You don't have to with this man. And then they pulled it because they said, oh, he was, making light of the death of this man. And it's like, no, I didn't do any of that. That's your leader who's doing that. And
can we also just, as an aside, when the God-blessed president of the United States is worried about building a God-blessed ballroom.
Don't even get me started.
Judas Priest, don't we have other stuff to do? Like, also, you're supposed to be governing.
You're supposed to not be spending money. That was your whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't even get me started on Jackie O's Rose Garden.
Well, it was just, but this is, they have, they're like school on Sunday. No class.
Exactly.
And that's what but I mean, again, the president of the United States should have bigger things to worry about than a frickin' ballroom.
But he doesn't, because he's a narcissist.
Like, I mean, if you would have asked John Kennedy about the something in the White House, he'd have been like, that's there or not. He has no clue.
Because
like,
he's
he knew
working
there was
on policy.
Right. He knew where the Oval Office was, his bedroom was, and probably not much else.
The person now wants to be photographed and praised, and we know that.
But for building a God-blessed ballroom, who gives a crap?
No, they don't. So Jimmy Kimmel basically, and this was the first attempt. Don't think this is the last. It was a big broadcast network of Sinclair Media that decided that they didn't like Jimmy Kimmel.
Right. Sinclair owns about 40% of the ABC market share. So
they'll air
remember,
shows.
it's not ABC is not one company. There are the local companies that own the broadcasting rights.
Right, and then an ABC, the network, sells to those affiliates.
Right. So if 40% of the affiliates, the ABC affiliates, are owned by Sinclair, and Sinclair says, "Hey, we're not going to show you."
We're not doing that.
Right. Then it's not on.
And then the FCC chair said, he should be removed he should be removed, blah, 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 blah.
FCC chair, tough guy.
Yeah, super tough.
Very tough.
And then now he says, I never said that, and it's all recorded. It's there. But anyway, so the Disney Corporation, who owns ABC, went into meetings, and they were basically said, we're putting you on an indefinite suspension, which came out in the evening. So they made this decision after the evening news and blah, 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 blah. About 11:30 at night, this came across the wire. And that was the first wake-up call, which you could have seen this coming. And everybody just took for granted that, Jimmy Kimmel, I'm going to take Jimmy Kimmel off the air, whatever. It's just like, it's nothing. Well, it happened. And the American people finally woke up and were like, okay, wait a minute. And also, I would have to say, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, John Oliver, and Stephen Colbert all were like very vocal about this on their programming, and they could have just not said a thing.
Bill Maher also.
Bill Maher. But it's not okay, and people called and canceled en masse their Disney Plus subscriptions, whatever streaming service they were on. They also called Sinclair Media and found a list of their advertisers, and then called their advertisers to pull funding. And so that was great. And now on Tuesday, he returned with the highest ratings they've ever had. Sinclair still refused to broadcast Tuesday. By Thursday, he was back on on Sinclair. My thing is, the power of the American people is very strong. You just have to make sure this is a right. that you have to fight for now because it's not a given anymore.
Well, it shows me two things, right? The power of the American people and the weakness of the corporate world, which is, by the way, so they're all worried about, upsetting, 47. But then when it hits them in the pocketbook, well, shit, they don't care. Pardon my language. They don't care about. Then it's like your principles and speech that's offensive and blah blah blah.
Well, I also think that you have, what I find most disturbing about this whole thing is the cowards that hide behind the law to spread vitriol, like Kirk and others, like Joe Rogan and all those yahoos, and hate speech, and then they oppose it when it happens to push back with facts and common sense about, if you put any limitations on it, then they freak out about it.
Right.
My thought is there was a law that was in effect until the Reagan administration that said you had to have a fair and balanced media. You couldn't have entertainment media, which is what we have now. Fox News is not news. It's entertainment.
Right.
It's classified.
Same as MSNBC,
CNN, and everything else. These 24-hour news systems that just spew opinions that aren't necessarily true. They're opinions. They're not based in fact. It's just, I feel like this. And they'll say it because they're trying to fill up programming. I think if you were to put that law in place again, it would go a long way to, you can't say anything that's not true on air. You just can't. It has to be backed up in fact.
I heard Jesse Waters say on Fox News, I saw the clip from it, because Bill Maher was somebody was making fun of it, because the escalator didn't work at the UN.
Oh, yeah.
And
because this photographer accidentally hit the button.
Yeah,
to stop
because the escalator didn't work, and then the teleprompter wasn't working. We should bomb the UN.
Yeah.
That's it. So he's promoting terrorism, but I didn't hear the outrage from.
Correct, and that's the problem. It's like it's only tit. There's no tat, right? And so you just sit here and you go, okay, so how do you go about making sure that the lines of communication are very clear in the fact that this is entertainment, meaning this is not true. It's Fox Entertainment. It's not news.
That was their whole defense on Dominion.
Correct.
For Dominion, they admitted that Hannity and these guys, they're not news. They're fake news. We call them fake news.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people call them that, fake news.
So I think you've got to get back into, okay, so how do we're not governing the press. We're making sure that it's fair and balanced, and it's not fair and balanced now. But you have to make sure that, it is an actual fact that you're presenting. It has to be true. It can't be, look at the BBC, all right? You have news organizations around the world. BBC is most famous for this. They come on, they tell you exactly what happened. They don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. There was a disaster. Boom. Right. This is how many people died. This is the earthquake amount. Right. They talk to people and they say, this is what happened. They're on the ground account, and then they move on. They do not sit there and wax poetic on their opinions about things. They might have people that come on that are experts in their field on either end, allow them to talk. People can, debate. I think we're missing that as the American public, without just saying meaning debate, meaning listening and talking and understand and coming to some sort of an understanding, or just agree to disagree, right? But in this instance, most people just will shout, you're impeding on my First Amendment rights to think about this. Or you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're all these things. It goes both ways, right? There is no dialogue because there is no ability for people to, and I think a lot of it has to do with social media being so readily available to hear any and all opinions. And it's an immediate thing, right? And there is no fact checking.
And everybody's an expert on social media.
Well, and
a lot of keyboard warriors.
Yeah, but Meta has removed fact checking now.
Right.
Whereas before,
that's because we want to get away with it. They wanted to remove it. Yeah,
well, exactly. And I think the tech people again, are just the same as these big corporations.
Meta, that
Zuckerberg,
whatever. I know his name. I was trying to think of some expletive to use or not use to describe him. Terrible human. Eighth ring of hell was lined up for him. Yeah. And
because
Bezos, because they stand for nothing but profit. They have literally sold out. Jeff Bezos has sold out the Washington Post. The Washington Post didn't endorse in 2024 anybody. Are you kidding me?
It's ridiculous.
Go away, Baldy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like literally, I hope your yacht. I don't want to death on anybody. But I hope every yacht you own sinks. And you own too many yachts.
Well, I think also,
like go away. Just like crawl back under a rock and sell books.
Well, I feel like the billionaire mentality now is like, I want to go to space. Okay, well, instead of going to space, how about we focus on philanthropic efforts?
I hope they go to space and don't come back.
I know, that would be nice.
Yeah, just go away. Go to the moon.
But Jeff Bezos' first wife, is, who got half of everything in the divorce, is giving it all away. And she is like one of the biggest philanthropists in the nation. Jeff's
one of the biggest philanderers.
Correct. Right. So, but I mean, even the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has done amazing. I would say Bill Gates made a ton of money. Yeah. And he's been on record saying like, my kids are not getting a ton of money. We're giving it all away.
Well, their definition of a ton of money.
Well, right. That's what I mean. They're not, he's saying, look, they'll be fine, but they're not going to be a billionaire.
His kids will not have to work a day of their life.
No, but the point is they have the foundation. They have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which helps get vaccines and life-saving medications to people around the world, and reproductive rights preserved.
We're opposed to that.
Right. My point is,
we need them to preserve. When's someone going to fight to preserve them in the United States? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations are like trying to preserve reproductive rights in like the third world.
Well, Melinda's also working here.
I say we're becoming the third world.
Well, she is also very active here as well. But what I'm saying is, you have the people who've made enough money that could look to history to say, oh, like the Carnegies and the Rockefellers,
the Mellons.
Yeah, exactly.
May have been some terrible humans back in the day, but they did try to
Johns
Hopkins, own people.
Yes.
But definitely did try to do some good. Enoch Pratt,
Yes. I mean, I'm just saying, you look to people that, they had a lot of money, but the philanthropy wing was saying, okay, look, we're going to put an opera house here. We're going to do this. We're going to kind of make society better for everybody. Art museums, whatever the case may be.
You mean buying a new super yacht isn't making the world better for everybody? No. Going to Blue Edge or whatever they call their stupid and SpaceX.
No, it's not. It is not. It's not.
I can't believe that's not making the world a better place.
I think that we need to just focus on, things.
I mean, sending celebrities to space isn't like a philanthropic effort. Okay.
No, not at all.
So,
but my point is, I said, the thing is you've got these people that've got a lot of money, then they think, and they want more power. They have absolutely everything they want in life because they can buy it. The only thing they don't have is power. So the more money you have, inherently people think you have more power or should have more power, which then opens up the philosophical conversation of how much money is enough money? And at what point do you hit in a threshold that you say, you know what, that's enough, and the rest of it can go?
What's the point of having power if you're not going to use it?
For good.
For good.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
exactly.
Why have power if you're not going to use it? But no, I mean, then you got, just all of them, just like total sellouts. I mean, like, And Tim Apple, we call him Tim Apple. Tim Cook. Yeah. I mean, giving some stupid gold because God knows we need more gaudy gold in the White House. Going in there, sucking his kneecaps. It's like, God, go away, dude. Go away. Go away.
We're treating the president of the United States like a child who gets to hold trophies, and they go, oh, you did such a good job.
Maybe he should stop showing up at sporting events. By the way, you know how taco stands for Trump always chickens out? I mean, we suck at everything he shows up at. I mean, he shows up at the U.S. Open tennis. U.S. doesn't win. No U.S. player wins that. I mean, a historic collapse is happening as we speak at the Ryder Cup because you're stone cold bad luck loser.
Yep. I think he should be banned.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, so First Amendment.
But again, hey, let's worry about the ballroom. Let's get the ballroom built.
Yeah. So my thing is, this First Amendment is really, this is the first attempt. It's not going to be the last. So you stay vigilant. And the thing is that you have to know that it's a cornerstone of our everyday lives, and I don't think people realize how important it is. And you should never be surprised by the current government wants to muzzle you. And
it's right when they go against voices they don't like, when they celebrate.
Exactly.
Again, he had nothing to do. Look, Stephen Colbert is off because Stephen Colbert is off, and it's coming off because, by the way, linear television, which is called cable television, it's dying. Linear television is just, I mean, it's 20th century technology.
But CBS also just paid an incredible amount of money to the administration.
Yeah.
And CBS is also involved in the Sinclair.
And they keep buying off. Yeah. I mean, it's
listen, Colbert and we'll be fine. The point is, though, yes, I agree that the typical broadcast media, you and I'm not watching broadcast media. I'm watching clips on YouTube the next day.
And I know maybe some of these people don't want to have elections going forward, or we have these new oligarchs or the kleptocracy, whatever you want to call what these people are trying to build.
Yeah.
But, in a couple of years, there's going to be a new president. And if he happens to be from another party, what happens when they want to come in and suck his kneecaps? And he says, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you F all the way off?
Yeah.
And say, by the way, I'm going to break you into 1 million pieces.
Because that's what needs to happen.
We're going to go at your monopolies in every way we can dog you.
I completely
we're going
agree.
to. Because somebody might say to the 50% roughly of Americans that our current president refers to as terrorists, which would be two of us sitting in this room. Okay, because we're a different political party. I didn't know I was the enemy of the state.
Right.
But you know what? What happens if somebody on our side, when he appeals to me or Lydia, because I want somebody who's not going to say it's going to be sunshine and seashells. I want someone to say to me, I'm going to be your retribution. And respect will be paid.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, and so, I don't know, there's a guy in California that I think might look to be our retribution.
So speaking of monopolies, I don't want to get off of that too quickly. So something that people should be aware of and pay attention to is the Google case that's currently going on right now. And the Google case, if people aren't familiar with.
I'm not even paying attention.
Okay, so they basically said that they have a monopoly over Google search and being able to boost your availability and site online is through SEO, so search engine optimization. Okay, so you can pay to have really good SEO and you can pop up first. And so basically they control that. And a lot of people use Google as their main search engine. Fine. So, but if you don't use Google as your main search engine, then your listings might not appear, right? And they have control over that. And they have Google and they have Gmail and they've got all these things that work in Congress together, which is great. And I'm one of those people who use all that, the Office suite and stuff. Here's the thing. Google, they want to break it up. They want to say, okay, you can't have this and you can't have YouTube and you can't have this and you can't have that because they all play in together. So you can only have one thing. And you would need to sell your search engine because you can't continue to be as big as you are and control this space as much as you do. And so
wasn't Google's bootleg CEO standing on the stage too? I believe he was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was.
I
he
think
was
so.
One of the co-founders. One of the bootleggers was
would
there
not be
at the
surprising.
inauguration. Yeah.
Would not be surprising. But so if they say, no, you got to break it up, there is a company, an AI-based company that's willing to buy Google, the search engine portion of it. So keep an eye on that case because that's the first case in tech that would basically say, no, you've stepped over the bounds here and you're controlling the board here. You've got to give it up.
Well, and that's where one of the reasons we used to have limitations on how many cable stations you could own, and they keep expanding that number.
Yep.
So places like Sinclair and some of the others, instead of owning, it's been arbitrarily weird numbers, like 35%, 39.
I think it's 37 or something crazy now.
So now, they want to expand past that. So
yeah. All right. Well, we're putting a pin in this.
Okay.
We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to keep being on air and in our way, which is online.
But on sports, as I did mention about the Ryder Cup,
Yeah.
And I know it is a historically embarrassing.
Beating. It's like not
thrashing.
Even. It's not even computing. It's
Scotty,
like not even a
Scotty Scheffler is been emasculated.
Good.
I mean, he looks like a stone cold loser.
Yeah. Well.
0-4. No one's ever gone 0-5. 0-0-5. 0 wins, 0 draws, and 5 losses.
Wow.
If he loses the head-to-head today, he'll be 0-0-5.
It's one way to make history.
And I think the British or the Europeans are put Rory out against him.
Oh yeah, they did.
And it was. I mean, you're watching it, and I was thinking like somebody should fire Keegan Bradley, the U.S. captain, like on the spot. Be like, you're fired. Okay,
you didn't pick a good.
Yeah, but 47 should just tell me he'd be a very powerful captain because he'd be more worried about golf and ballrooms than governing. But like literally, the guys they're just losing. Bryson DeChambeau, another clown.
The shambles.
I mean, they just got You know,
they're just getting
two guys from Northern Ireland just took them apart piecemeal. I mean, just embarrassed he and Scotty Scheffler.
Good,
and they got embarrassed up and down the U.S. teams. And
I think it's time for them to be a little bit humbled, and I'm not mad at it.
They got humbled 2 years ago. They got destroyed in Italy. Now they got destroyed. Now they're getting destroyed at Bethpage Black. I mean, the New York crowd's all over the Europeans, and it's still not enough. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Sometimes at the Open you can change it, but not now. All right, let's talk about WNBA. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
So the semifinals are in full effect. The Lynx head coach was kicked out after going up to a ref after
she lost her mind.
Okay. Colliers, great player for the Lynx. She's like clutch, especially in the finals.
It's like in the last under 20 seconds.
Under 20 seconds, yeah. Anyway, so she injured herself, and it looked pretty bad.
Right.
But it was a clean play. You and I both looked at the play.
They're playing Phoenix, and the Phoenix player and Collier, the Phoenix player steals the ball from Collier.
Clean play.
And so what she does is she cleanly knocks the ball away from her.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I can't remember the Phoenix player. And then she and Collier's legs collide.
They collide, which happens.
Okay.
Yeah, when you play sport.
And so then, and there was no foul called.
No.
But the ball was cleanly knocked away. There was no foul. And when they looked at it and they slowed it down in replay, that's just incidental contact.
Yeah.
It didn't give one. It wasn't intentional. One player wasn't trying to get an advantage. Now look, when there's a loose ball, I can't physically push you out of the way to get to the ball. I can't take my hands and push you.
No.
But when two people just run into it, it's just incidental contact.
Right.
And the Lynx coach just melted down over it.
She
then doubled down on the meltdown.
And doubled down on the meltdown in the press conference. Instead of saying, hey, I looked at the footage and I was the right call. It's playoff season and I got a little heated. Fine, apologize and move on. She's now doubling down and saying that the refs are terrible and they're causing injuries to players. And listen,
it's a joke that they have a third-rate officials doing playoff games and how they get what company would
this
pick
just
these
look okay. So the Lynx won last year. Okay, and they probably most likely will get eliminated. They are down 2-1 in their series.
Right.
Actually, no, they're tied 2-2.
No, it's 2-1. It's 2-1 headed to Phoenix.
They're tied.
I thought it said 2-1 on. Okay, whatever the case might be
they're tied. So they need to win this next game. Aces are up 2-1 over the Fever.
Oh, okay.
But they're tied. So the problem is that they need this player to really probably make a difference because she got 17 points in this
and they
last
don't have
game.
their coach either.
And they don't have a coach. So my point is, you did it to yourself.
Yes.
If you want anybody to blame, you blame yourself. And it's also just the consequence of playing a sport. You're going out there. You're fighting for every pat. You're fighting for every ball. It's going to happen.
Yes.
She had an injury. It is what it is. Get it together and move on. Do not blame other people for just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
So the series continues this evening. The Aces and the Fever play. Most likely the Aces will take the series and move to the final. All right, NFL. The Ravens lost. The Colts are undefeated. And the Eagles blocked not one, but 2 field goals.
Ravens 1-2. The defense looks abysmal. I mean, Lamar Jackson looks like an MVP. Derrick Henry can't stop fumbling.
No. Got to figure out what's going on with his hands.
So they have a big game today. They play the Chiefs this afternoon.
The Chiefs, yeah.
The Colts, Daniel Jones, he gets out. He shed the big blue kryptonite.
He did.
Gets out of New York. He's 3-0 for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
For the Colts.
Yep.
He's playing really good football. I think they play the Chargers maybe today or somebody. They have a good game today.
For the life of me, I always get the Chargers and the Rams confused. They have the same colors in the same place. Yeah. So
I think they play the Chargers.
No,
I think you're right. Maybe it's just the Rams.
I think it's the Rams.
I think it's the Rams. You're right.
But I get them confused. I get them.
Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty sure you're right. It's the Rams.
They play They play a California team.
One of the SoCal teams.
One of the SoCal
They play in SoFi Stadium.
Right.
Okay.
SoFi
Daniel
team.
Jones, he's looked great.
Yeah.
And good for him.
I have to say, I know the Ravens lost to the Lions, but the Lions are looking really good. And they have been for the last few years.
So, by the way, the Ravens are 1-2, lost a very close game to the Lions.
Yeah. It wasn't a blowout.
Lost a very close game to the Bills.
Yeah.
And now have to play the Chiefs, and they beat the Browns. So, that's a pretty brutal opening start.
Well,
the Eagles haven't looked great on offense, but they do enough right now, and they're still the champs until somebody beats them.
Let me tell you something. I have never heard noises come from the living room like I heard last Sunday at that last block and the run back. Holy mackerel. And Tim listens to the radio broadcast, and Merle, who is like a great announcer. Was the way he called that game. It is like so joyous. It's really wonderful.
Big game today. With the Eagles taking on undefeated Tampa Bay.
Yes,
we were talking before we went on. Tampa Bay love Baker Mayfield. Guys nails. He's chippy and he's cocky and I love Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I mean, and people wrote him off for dead. That's just the stank of Cleveland on him, and he gets out of Cleveland and he's a heck of a football player. He's a heck of a football player.
So you and I, before we got on the mics, we were watching a football game that's taking place in Ireland. Listen, I didn't mind watching a game at 10 o'clock in the morning. I thought it was great, but they're in Ireland playing. It's the Vikings and the Steelers, and when we left, the Steelers were up. But I have to say, Goodell has plans that he would love to have an international game every week
Can we
season.
keep him in international waters somewhere?
On a yacht, maybe?
Yeah, maybe he can get on Baldy Bezos' yacht, I mean...
I hate the idea of doing an opening season. I think you rob the team of their opening season at their stadium.
A home team deserves that. And I think it's wrong to do that. I think if you want to have one international game, you do one international game, and that is it. I think the international crowd for NFL is already well established. I don't think you need to go and play there. By the way, I guarantee you that thousands upon thousands of the people that are in Dublin watching the game are from the United States that traveled,
it's a tourism thing.
It's a tour. Yeah. Like, dude, the Irish don't need any more tour. I mean, I say that. The city of Dublin. No. The number one economic driver in Ireland is tourism, American tourism in particular.
Well, the number one economic driver for our area is tourism.
Yeah, but so I don't want to rob my Irish brethren of their of income. But I'm saying dude, it's not like you're expanding it to the masses. It's just some travel trip. I mean, you got a bunch of Yinzers from Pittsburgh there, a bunch of people from Minnesota.
Right.
Have invaded.
And maybe they're trying to.
Have invaded Dublin.
That's okay. I mean, they are playing in soccer stadiums, which is a little bit weird to see,
And the Irish in general, they don't give a toss about who's playing in football. They don't. They like. They like rugby and they like Gaelic football and they like hurling and they like, their version of football, the beautiful game, and they don't really care.
They don't really care about us, and that's okay. So thanks for hosting us, Dublin.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's that.
Yeah.
All right, college football. Let me tell you, you're fighting Irish last night.
Hey, they drug. They showed they once again, little brother, the SEC got schooled. Notre Dame hauled Arkansas behind the woodshed, and I mean, and literally, Marcus Freeman is a very good guy and a classy guy, and kept the score down. I think we ended up 56-13.
56-13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I mean, that was good to see. The Ohio State won again.
IO. Yeah. So Notre Dame, by the way, on Notre Dame, people are like, oh, they're 2-2. Okay. They have lost to top 10 ranked Miami. Yeah. I think Miami's top 3 ranked, and top 10 ranked Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, both one on the road and one at home.
Yeah.
And by the way, in the last seconds of games.
I know. These were not blowouts. This was a blowout.
Notre Dame's a very good team. I think they are not an average team. They're a very good team. Yep. I'm not saying they're going to win a national championship, but they are a very, very good football team.
They're competitive.
Yes.
They're in the run. Maryland also has the same
4-0 record.
4-0 record as the Ohio State.
They had a bye. Maryland was off this weekend. I'm hoping your Buckeyes softened up the Huskies. Huskies going to make because that Big Ten conference is going to make that 3,000-mile jaunt across the country. Yeah. By the way,
College Park
can't get much further away from College Park than Seattle.
So I didn't realize this, and I mean I did know that in Seattle and other places on the left coast, you can also you can see the stadiums from waterways, and so a friend of ours who had a baby shower yesterday was there, and her father was there, and her friend who he went to Ohio State with lives in Seattle, and so they were sailgating in front of the
Husky Stadium there.
Husky Stadium there, which I thought was really fantastic.
By the way, I thought they were coming to me from the wrong place. It was gorgeous out.
Yeah,
it was
beautiful.
You don't expect to see that sun shining.
Yeah, I know.
I
saw you showed me a picture of them sailgating, and I was like, it's sunny.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, Pacific Northwest?
I tell you what, though, it was a great college football day yesterday. Some really big games. Alabama went in between the hedges in Sanford Stadium, 33-game winning streak. And old Kirby laid another egg.
Yeah, he did.
He has 8 losses all time to every other team, and he's now 1-7, I think, against Alabama.
He is.
So he's got to buckle down, that hairy dog or whatever they say down there.
God.
And but so Alabama, Caleb DeBoer, the reports of his demise may have been exaggerated.
Yep.
Took his Alabama team in there as an underdog. Hard to see Alabama as much of an underdog ever, but they went in between the hedges in Sanford Stadium and got a big W.
They did.
And then I was practically giddy last night, and I did stay up to watch.
Did you watch the whole game?
To watch the Oregon
Penn State game?
I'm not an Oregon fan.
Let me tell you, it was a snooze fest until the end of the game. We got 2 overtimes.
But to watch Big Game James do what Big Game James does, James Franklin, a.k.a. Big Game James, because he cannot win a big game.
No, and also it was a whiteout. Penn State is like Happy Valley, known as the whiteout. They had a whiteout stadium. Well, let me tell you, did make a bit of a difference last night.
And Oregon went into Happy Valley. Penn State, crapped up their back again, and
here we are.
And, I mean, James Franklin's the kind of guy that belongs in the Hall of Very Good, So, by the way, it's not just like spite to be spiteful.
Yeah.
James Franklin was the Maryland head coach in waiting, undermined Ralph Friedgen, bolted Maryland, runs his mouth about Maryland and the DMV a lot, like how it's Penn State country and blah, blah, blah. He's a blowhard, which is cool. Hey,
but he has nothing to
you'd
back
say
up.
I'm a blowhard, fine. I'm on a podcast for on an ego trip, fine. But he's a blowhard and he's not backed it up, man. So just go away. Win a big game, Big Game James.
Just focus on yourself for a little bit.
But win a big game. Penn State, I guarantee you, end up 10-2, 11-1. No, they're going to end up 10-2 because they'll lose to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Because he cannot win a big game.
He can't.
He
Penn chokes.
Penn State, to their credit, they don't get upset.
No.
Rarely. I'm talking about they don't get beat by the Iowas of the world or Marylands of the world. They're not losing games that they're supposed to win. They win those games. But if it's going to be competitive, uber competitive, coin toss, they're slight underdogs or slight favorites against a really good team, they never win.
No.
They're
not that good.
When Michigan's really good and they play Penn State, Michigan will win. Ohio State's really good, they play Penn State, Ohio State wins. Oregon's real good. This is, again, they beat them those 2 years in a row. They beat them.
Yeah.
They don't win big games.
No, they're not coming in the clutch. Okay, so Florida State, Virginia. We're going to talk about this game. Mainly, Virginia beat Florida.
Big win for the Hoos.
Big win
on Friday night.
Them,
double overtime.
Yes. However, we talked about this last year. I'm bringing it up again. You watch the end of the game. You can find it on YouTube. It pops right up. And it is the student body rushing the field. It is insanity.
Yeah, the Hoos student body. I remember.
Should never happen.
UVA does not have freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors. They have first year, second year, third years, fourth years. They're real happy with themselves. It is a very beautiful place.
Absolutely.
For the record. But they were the first, second, thirds, and fourths were on the field very fast. Very fast.
Number one, there's no way that you can say, "Oh, I have more security." It was a stampede.
Yes. No, security's not going to stop this.
No, and it was like you don't know where the receivers are, you don't know where your quarterback is. The team, the visiting team, flooded with students. Coaches, everyone's trying to move around on the field. It is an unsafe environment. Somebody will die. Somebody will get injured. And then who's responsible for that? That is now the college's responsibility. They started putting out fines last year for colleges and universities because they need to be able to control their student population. The students should not be allowed on the field. Maybe the student section needs to be further up, and you cannot storm the field. They need to make these changes. They have this thing in soccer stadiums.
Yeah.
We've known this all around the world, that people get trampled in soccer stadiums. You have to make it safe for the players, the visiting team, and also the students. I'm going to tell you, you got a bunch of hormonal teenagers going to maybe their first or second football game of their entire lives.
But NFL, they managed to never have anyone storm the field. It's doable.
That's what I'm saying. It's totally doable. You need to rein this in before it becomes a problem, because that was not cool, dudes.
Hey,
not cool.
Another big college game yesterday was Ole Miss beat LSU.
Yeah, they did. That's
one of those guys. So, by the way, don't like Brian Kelly.
Really?
And BK, I can't believe. Hey, I was surprised when we got an interview. We didn't hear that Creole accent what a clown. Talk about a guy can't win the big one. That's what. Yeah, Brian can't win the big one, Kelly.
No.
But by the way, also, I like Lane Kiffin. He is provocative. He's a really good coach. He will absolutely gaslight people.
Yeah.
But no, and I love the story. Their quarterback was Division II, played at Ferris State, who's a Division II power apparently, but went from Division II, transferred in the portal, and now he's starting at Ole Miss. Ole Miss 5-0.
Yeah.
And that was a heck of a game. It was a really, really good college football. It was a good Saturday.
It was a great Saturday, I gotta say, and I'm happy I got to see some of it. Again, I was at a baby shower.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way, to the new incoming parents, because they've got a lot of stuff and they're wealthy in diapers.
Yeah, and you saw each and everything they got.
I saw everything.
Every onesie.
Every outfit.
Yeah.
That baby's knitwear collection is on point, I gotta say. Fellow girl dad. So,
right on.
he's taking it very seriously.
So as I said to Lydia and Tim before we went on, said, look, if you've listened to this podcast before, you've listened to this one, it's very clear that I'm a progressive. I am on the left. I don't make any bones about it.
What?
I'm a very proud girl dad. I'm here for it all.
Uh-huh.
I am not here for a baby shower. I don't want any part of it. I will send gifts. I'm not going to be cheap about it. I'm excited for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one to be like, okay, I'll take the dad to be like, hey, let me go entertain him for a couple hours while whoever does whatever. And by the way, if somebody wants to go, cool, whatever blows your hair back. I'm just saying, man, the invite I do not want to see coming in the mail from anybody is a baby shower invite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm man, that's straight kryptonite to Superman. I'm like,
I gotta tell you,
I just don't want any part of it. I don't want in the mix.
There was no games, which I appreciated.
Right.
And I will say I have been to my threshold of baby showers, I think. I've gone to a couple that were great. One was Grace, my goddaughter. They just had a hangout, no gifts. It was just sort of like, hey, we get to spend time with you before you have your baby. Had a nice meal, totally chill at it was at the farm.
Right on.
It was great, no big deal. Second best baby shower was at a bar. They said, hey, our lives are about to change and we're not going to be able to see all of our favorite people, so we're gonna on a Sunday we take over this bar, put your gifts on the stage.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for them. They got up. They said, thanks for the gifts. I'm not opening them. Yeah. And
everybody but the mother to be. Let's get liquored up.
They just were hanging out and having a good time.
Let's watch some whatever. And
they're just
drinks.
Let's spend some time together because I'm not going to spend time with you guys for a while. And let's get it in. That was a great baby shower. It was a co-ed baby shower, and it's at a bar.
If that's the co-ed baby shower, fine. I'll take that invite.
It's a party.
But generally, man, if mine gets lost in the mail, I'll send a gift.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the Major League Baseball. It's playoffs, baby.
After today, we'll know. Because we're still the AL East. We do not know who's going to be if the Blue Jays, a Yankees loss, a Blue Jays win, or if they both lose, the Blue Jays win the division. The Blue Jays have the tiebreaker, but they have the same record. So we don't have an AL East champion. I don't think we have an AL Central champion either yet. Detroit and
I don't know.
I don't think I don't think we know who's won the Central yet.
We don't.
Yeah.
But the Phillies are in.
Phillies are in.
And the Brewers are in.
The Brewers are in.
And Seattle's in.
Seattle's in.
Yeah.
And we know the Yankees are in. We know the Blue Jays are in. I think the Red Sox we know are in.
Yeah, wild cards. We got wild cards. So we got Detroit and the Cubs. They play. Yeah. And then you've got Boston and New York, which hopefully Boston wins. And then they play the Blue Jays and the Brewers. It'll be whatever. The Padres and the Cubs. Most likely the Padres.
I would think the Padres would come out of there. Yeah, you never know.
You never pull it out.
But I would think
you got Cincinnati and the Dodgers, so probably the Dodgers. And the Dodgers play the Phils. And then you've got Cleveland, Detroit.
And they've been battling it out the whole time.
They have.
By the way,
so that's an up in the air.
Other than I want to say I'd like Detroit because you're going to see Scooble at least first off. So it's probably going to be a win. But Detroit, this has been a monumental meltdown by the Tigers. Even if they hang on and win the division, I don't know that they will. They have melted down.
It's messy.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then it's gonna be the Yankees and the Red Sox, right?
Yeah, go Sox.
Unless the Blue Jays lose, then it could be. Then still be go Sox for me.
We hate the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
You and I do.
Now I will if the Yankees play the Blue Jays, I'm hoping for field opens up, takes everybody to the eighth ring of hell.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Again, don't want to see that. Don't want. I mean, I'll just be forever
just be
against whoever is playing them.
Of course.
I just hope. But like if you said to me, pick right now.
Yeah.
I really do like the way the Phillies have been playing baseball.
Same.
I mean, I think people sleep on the Padres,
the Padres and the
or
Brewers.
sleep on the Brewers, because the Brewers don't have that true superstar.
No, but they're winning.
They're winning so many games.
I mean, they've won so many games, and that's the thing. Like Padres always heat up in the postseason.
Yeah,
they always heat up in the post. They're good all year, and then they really like a freight train.
But you could see the ALDS with the Dodgers and Phillies have a lot of fireworks, man. Just a lot of big bats in that lineup.
I'm going to tell you, the Phillies have beaten the Dodgers before in the season, so it's not an impossibility. But the Phils look really good. They're hitting.
Yeah, I know.
Schwarber's hitting really well.
And I mean, we said it a couple weeks ago.
Castellanos is hitting really well.
We said it a couple weeks ago. Man, when the lights go bright, Bryce Harper is just a different player.
Yeah.
He's a different player.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a different player in the playoffs. I think he'll be playoff Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
Because he hasn't been great this year.
I will say, Tim is having a really great. It's been really good for Philadelphia sports in this household. So happy guy.
Yeah.
But no, the Phillies look really good. The Brewers also look really good. I'm excited. Again, this is our favorite time of year. Really good baseball towards
Seattle, Cal Raleigh, big dumper.
Oh my God, big dumper. So he's a catcher switch hitter. He had 60 home runs for the season. It's the most of all time.
Most all time for a switch hitter. Most all time for somebody playing catcher as a primary position.
Yeah, I'm tight.
And he is the first player in the American League to not play for the New York Yankees did 60 home runs. Yeah, the other ones were Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, and Aaron Judge. They're the only three players to ever hit 60 in the American League.
Right, and they're also not playing like really, really hard positions. Like catcher is a very difficult physical position.
There's
to play.
That's why it's so rare to see that with the catchers, because they're and they generally tend to peter out as the year goes.
Absolutely.
Because the wear and tear. It's such a grueling position to play.
But I mean, he's also a switch hitter, which is like crazy.
And he passed for the most home runs by a switch hitter. Belonged to. Also happened in 1961.
1961.
Also played with Roger Maris. He was number 7 in your program, number 1 in your hearts. Center fielder, Mickey Mantle.
Yes.
I think Mantle had
54. I think 54.
And was most by a switch hitter.
Yeah, and he passed that. Yeah. So it was like 55 was a big one. Yeah. And I think, and then obviously 60, which happened a couple days ago.
Right. And so if he needed to hit 63 to be the AL home run king, because Aaron Judge has it with 62.
Right.
I think Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs with a switch hitter playing catcher. He is the American League MVP.
Yeah.
I know Judge has 50-some. I know they're going to talk about Judge, better batting average, all that stuff. Dude, Cal Raleigh's got to be the MVP.
I agree.
And I think, once again, in the National League, it's going to be Shohei.
Yes, because, I mean, and you and I talked briefly about this being like kind of the golden age of baseball as far as players are concerned. And, they're very strict about testing now, so it's not like we're not in the Barry Bonds era.
I would vote for Schwarber, by the way, but I know why it's going to be Shohei. He is pitching too. They're both DHs, so you can't just discount Schwarber for being a DH.
No.
But they're saying, but every 5 games, Ohtani's taking the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Ohtani gets that. Yeah. But so pitching and hitting, and he's looking really good.
Yeah, he's the new 50-50 club also. He's the first guy to hit 50 home runs and pitch 50 innings in a game, in a year. Yeah, so last year he went 50-50 on stolen bases and home runs. He went 50-50 again in a different way. So it's just crazy stats. I mean, he's a freak show.
Well, I mean, we've got plenty of sports to watch this evening. We've got some games going on.
We get to watch the rest of the Ryder Cup meltdown.
Yeah, and we've got, some Sunday
maybe
football.
All those bootlickers will run down to Mar-a-Lago, or maybe we're looking into sending all 12 of them out of the country. Okay, we're going to take their citizenship away. They've embarrassed their country. Very weak. Yeah, I mean, but so we have the rest of the meltdown of the Ryder Cup.
We have
some good college football.
Good college football.
Or good pro football.
Good pro football tonight.
You had the Micah Bowl, by the way, also.
Oh, yeah.
Micah Parsons of Green Bay. Is coming back to Dallas. He's
coming back to Dallas. That's going to be.
I hope it's like a 4-sack game.
I recently heard somebody had a really good theory. I think his name is Caleb. And he said, listen, I want more people to be involved in sports, especially football, because sometimes it's like kind of out of reach for some people who might want to get into it, right? And he said, so I have a broadcast where it would be, okay, tried and true like broadcaster, a person who knows nothing about football, and then somebody that is like was a professional player, right? So that's like that, and they could ask questions. And that's a broadcast, not a regular. So that's the broadcast. So if you're learning about football, you have a person who knows nothing about what's the yellow. What does it mean when they throw a flag? Like, what does that mean?
What's holding mean?
What's holding mean? And so it's a way for people to kind of get into the sport without it being like, feeling like they're already behind when they get in. Yeah. And he says, and it wouldn't annoy the people who already know about football because they're like learning at the same time. But also he says, football is very dramatic. Yeah. And this person happens to be gay. He was talking about like, I love football, but not a lot of my friends do. And he's like, with this whole like coming back to Dallas, he's like, he left, he broke up with Dallas and now he's coming back and it's so dramatic. And he goes, people don't want to think that football is dramatic, but it is very dramatic. So I was like, there you go. Amazing.
So that the Ravens play the Chiefs this afternoon.
Also big drama. Yeah. I mean, they want that win back. Yeah. So. And I really hope that
Eagles and we mentioned that Eagles and Bucks both 3-0.
Exactly.
Big game.
It's gonna be a good game.
The Rams. We are right. It's the Rams and the Colts. Yep.
Okay.
I
honestly, it seems like it's the Chargers. I was like, okay,
no, it's the Rams.
I thought it was the Rams.
It's the Rams.
Yeah. Okay.
So, hey, season 6, episode 2 in the books.
Yes.
So there's been 5 previous seasons. There's been 1 previous episode of episode 6.
Yeah, which is also great. You should check it out.
So Lydia, for those who want to check it out, want to find us, just stumbled across, where else can they find us?
iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, Audible, YouTube.
Love Audible.
Yeah. iHeartRadio and Deezer Player FM. You will not see our faces, but you will see our new logo.
There we go.
Yeah. So did anybody reach out to you about our new logo?
No, it should. Check it out. There's always a Jack theme. So there you go.
Always a Jack theme. That's the only clue you're going to get. And,
and if you want to reach out to us, you can find us both on Twitter, or if you used to call it X. Lydia, where can they find you?
At RTL Pod.
And they can find me at JMGGMPG. They can also find us at JackYDK.
Yep.
So there we go. Yeah. Season 6, episode 2 in the books. We'll be back here, and probably not next week, probably the week after.
Sounds great. We'll see you then.
All right, see you.